to the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make...
Breaking news, tragedy at a music festival in Houston. At least 8 people have died and many more injured after a crowd rushed toward the stage at the Astroworld Festival last night.
What was the last concert you went to? We ask because when you go to these shows, regardless of the genre or the people involved, you're meant to go and enjoy it. It's a way to go and relax, to hear your favorite artist sing, and if you have good seats, to go and see them up close and personal. The problem though is when the crowd gets a bit wild and decides that they need to see the band or singer up close, even if it means hurting people in the process. And sadly, that's exactly what happened a couple nights ago at the Travis Scott concert. We'll break it down first. Chief Pena said, adding that of those patients, 11 were in cardiac arrest. Over 300 people were treated at a field hospital at the site, he said. The exact cause of death will be determined by the medical examiner, who is investigating the incident, Chief Pena said. Responses and reactions. Chief Troy Finner of the Houston Police Department said that many details about the disaster were still unclear at the time, including what had caused the crowd to surge forward. I'm sending investigators to the hospital because we just don't know, Chief Finner said. We're going to do an investigation and find out, because it's not fair to producers, to anybody else involved, until we determine what happened, what caused the surge. It happened all at once, Larry Satterwhite, the executive assistant chief of the Houston Police, said at the news conference. He said that at one point several people in the crowd fell to the ground and began experiencing what he called a medical episode.
We will treat it as an investigation, because we don't know.
One concert goer, Nima Jabadzera, described Friday's event as really hectic from the beginning. I got there around 3 and saw people already struggling to stand straight, she said on Saturday. There was a lot of mob mentality going on, people willing to do whatever to be in line for merch, food, shows, you name it. A lot of fights broke out throughout the day. The company organizing the festival, Live Nation, agreed to stop the performance early in the interest of public safety, Chief Satterwhite said. Travis Scott, he took pause to point at the crowd to say, like, go help them, they're passed out. Angel Rodriguez, a concert goer, said on Saturday morning. He did it like 3 times. He pointed to the area where it was and said for everybody in the area to go and help them and bring them to the front. Governor Greg Abbott said in a statement on Saturday, what happened at Astroworld Festival last night was tragic, and our hearts are with those who lost their lives and those who were injured in the terrifying crowd surge. The mayor's reaction. Mayor Sylvester Turner, a native Houstonian, has known the family of Travis Scott for years. Mr. Scott's mother, his sister, his grandmother. Though he is not close with Mr. Scott, he has sought to support Houston artists like the rapper. Now, after the deadly crowd surge at Friday's events, he is pledging a thorough review and investigation. In a telephone interview on Saturday, Mr. Turner said that there had been roughly 11 people in cardiac arrest at the show, though he cautioned that the cause of the deaths at the concert were still under review. We had more security over there than we had at the World Series game, he said, noting that the event took place on county property with security organized by the city of Houston. The Houston Police Department provided hundreds of officers, he said, in addition to what I'm told were 240 or 250 non-police security that were there. He said it was too early to say whether the security operation was adequate or what led to the 8 deaths. I'm going to hold any sort of conclusion pending a thorough review and investigation, he said. We do know that there were several cases of cardiac arrest. What was the cause of that? He said it was too early to determine whether any of the deaths were connected to drug overdoses, he said. I don't even want to go to drug overdoses. We're looking at all the potential causes of this incident or what caused the cardiac arrest. We're not taking anything off the table. The mayor said that the preliminary reports suggested that most of the injuries occurred in one particular area. This was not all throughout the front part of the staging area. Investigators were reviewing video, interviewing witnesses, and talking to those who were transported to hospitals, he said, adding that the injured included a child as young as 10 who had been treated for injuries. Overall, the mayor's office said the ages of the dead ranged from 16 to 23. This is a young crowd, Mr. Turner said. The mayor said he has long-standing connections with Mr. Scott's family. I've worked with the family. I've worked with Travis. I've worked with his mom, he said. This is a tragic case, and that's why I want a very, very thorough investigation of this. Mr. Turner said that he believed that Mr. Scott was devastated by the event, but that he had not yet spoken to the musician or his family. This is the last thing any of them wanted to see happen, the mayor said. I've sent him a text. I haven't spoken to him personally. More details on the surge. Given that there were so many people at the event, it's not surprising that there are all sorts of accounts and even footage as to what was going on. The crowd began to compress towards the front of the stage, and that caused some panic, and it started causing some injuries, Houston Fire Chief Samuel Pena told the news conference. People began to fall out, become unconscious, and it created additional panic. Witnesses reported lots of pushing and shoving during the performances leading up to Scott's set. When Scott took the stage, the crowd seemed to rush to the front, trying to get closer to the stage. It just got worse and worse. Everyone was like, "You just can't breathe," said Johnson, who was near the front of the stage in the middle part of the crowd. Johnson said fans started to crush each other and people started screaming. He said it felt like 100 degrees in the crowd, which was so thick that he and his friends could not move. Everyone was passing out around you and everyone was trying to help each other, but you just couldn't move. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't even pick up your arms, Johnson said. Scott seemed to be aware of the situation that was going on in the crowd, but he might have not understood the severity of the situation, Johnson said. In a video posted to social media, Scott could be seen stopping the concert at one point and asking for aid for someone in the audience. "Security, somebody get help real quick." So he did try and fix things, but not at key moments according to some. Things only got more curious for Scott when later on he posted an apology about the event and stated that he couldn't imagine something like this happening at his shows, or that he always tries to stop and help if he notices something from the stage and so on and so forth. But some are calling this out as a fake apology based on not just the words said, but the body language of it all. You might have to be the judge of that. The photographer's view. Amy Harris, a freelance photographer for the Associated Press, described an aggressive crowd atmosphere throughout the day because of the way fans were behaving, pushing and rushing the stage barricades, and prohibited VIP and admission areas. "It was definitely the most chaotic festival environment that I've been in," Harris said. "I felt uneasy all day." At one point, she got trapped behind a barricade while photographing performer Don Tolliver because about 300 fans rushed the area. They ended up behind the security barricade with her. "I was scared," she said. Harris said she encountered a similar scene for the main act at a different stage. She left the media pit after 3 songs because of the pandemonium, which included people getting pulled over the security barricade to receive medical attention. Now, that isn't to say that the crowd was always planning to do this surge and in result get people killed, but there are times when you can sense something going wrong, and that's exactly what happened here, past and present. The irony of much of this is that Scott founded the Astroworld Festival in 2018, and it has taken place at the former site of Six Flags Astroworld each year since, except for 2020 because of the coronavirus pandemic. Again, that's not to say that Scott is the reason for all of this, but it is interesting that the thing he founded went awry when he was on stage. The deaths called to mind a 1979 concert by The Who, where 11 people died and about 24 were injured as thousands of fans tried to get into Cincinnati's Riverfront Coliseum. It was after that time that there were a lot more restrictions put onto concerts to try and stop this from happening again, but obviously that didn't happen here. While details are still coming in, it is important to look at this and see what we can figure out so that this doesn't happen again. The cause? Finally, we have what is breaking news at the time about what might have caused all of this. According to sources close to Astroworld, the cause of the crowd surge might have just been drugs, but not in the way you're thinking. The source claims that at the key moment in the concert, someone started injecting people with drugs. Chief Finner said a security guard working the event felt a prick in his neck by an unknown assailant while he was trying to restrain a citizen, and he quickly fell unconscious. Finner says the guard was revived by use of Narcan, and that medical personnel did indeed see something on his neck that indicated he had been stabbed with a syringe. So if a bunch of people started getting stabbed by this person and pandemonium set in, it's not hard to see something like this devolve into the situation it became. More details are sure to come as the investigation continues. And there you go, everyone, a look at what happened at the concert featuring Travis Scott and how so many were hurt, injured, or even died because of the crowd surge. Does it shock you that something like this happened in the modern day of concerts? Are you mad that Travis Scott didn't realize what was going on and didn't try to stop it immediately? What is the fallout going to be in your mind? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.